Hey, it's George. This is another Vinyl Finds. It's been about a month, probably about a month and a half since my last Vinyl Finds. I want to do videos more regularly than that. I kind of let it go by the wayside a little bit, but hopefully I'll kind of, you know, jump back on the wagon, the horse, whatever you want to say. So anyway, I tried recording this once before and it went on for 35 minutes, which is way too long. So I'm going to kind of try to go quick. I only got 3 singles. The first one is the Cramps, Faster Pussycat. This is 2 songs off Smell of Female. This is a picture sleeve that only came out in France, I guess. It's on one of those injection molded labels on a label called New Rose. And it also came out as a picture disc, which I hate picture discs. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Real glossy cover. But anyway, yeah, the Cramps. The next one is a reissue of The Damned Problem Child, backed with You Take My Money. People don't really seem to like music for pleasure. I don't see anyone in the VC show it hardly. But I do like the song Problem Child. You Take My Money, the B-side is great. Don't Cry Wolf is really good. Sick of Being Sick, Stretcher Case Baby, Idiot Box. So I do like that album a lot. I don't have that yet. But this single, I would like an original, but it'll do. And I do like how it's, I think the sleeve on the original is kind of thin, and this is a real thick, heavy cardstock. So, and I wouldn't be too picky about getting an original if it was on like a stiff label. But it's this weird kind of dumb label called Earmark, which is a really bad design. So anyway, The Damned, Problem Child, and the last single is probably the best out of all of them. It's the Mummies first single, Food, Sickles, and Girls, backed with One by One. It gives you instructions on the back how to steal it. It talks about how you need to take the single, find a dollar record, put it in the sleeve of the dollar record, and check out with that, which I didn't do. And it's on a label called Prebs. I know that Ryan Kidd uploaded some footage just earlier today of him seeing them, and they looked really, they sounded really cool. They sounded good, and they looked really, really cool. And there was a guy in the VC who showed Mummies, because you don't see him showed very often. And I think his name was Troy Barnes. And I still see him like comment sometimes, but he looks like deleted or privated all his videos. So there's some channels like that I really liked that just kind of disappeared, like Punk Points. I liked Punk Points, and Hyper Viper, I think that guy's name was. So anyway, but I was looking on Discogs just at like band lineups and stuff, and I discovered that basically the lineup for the Mummies and the Phantom Surfers is almost the same except for like one member, which kind of makes sense when you think about like when the Mummies left Estrus, the Phantom Surfers also left Estrus, and then when the Mummies put out a single on Sympathy, the Phantom Surfers also put out a single on Sympathy. And it also comes with, I don't think I already showed this, this little mail away thing for Mummies t-shirts. And then it's got some other stuff on the back, advertisements for other records. So yeah, the Mummies, I was really happy to find that. The next one is, I'm happy to have it. It's really cool. But I was kind of disappointed with it, because when I opened side 3 when I took side 3 out for the first time, or the third record. I put on the second side, and there's a huge scratch across 3 tracks that cause a really big pop. And that's the Art Devo box set. I'm really happy to have this, but, you know, for paying $140 plus shipping plus tax, I shouldn't have to deal with, you know, a big poppy scratch across 3 songs on side 2 of the third record. I messaged the label Futurismo on Instagram, and I haven't gotten a response, and I doubt I will. So anyway, that put a little bit of damper on the box set, but it still is really cool. I'm not going to show everything that's in it. Berkshire Mike did a full video, and Michael Pilmer did a video on everything in it. But it is a cool box set. I just think for that much money, you should maybe be getting a little more quality control than that. The next one is kind of an Exotica Bachelor Pad Space Age record, and that's Sounds in Space. This is weird. It's like sound effects mixed in with like rocket launch countdowns and then some music. But it's the main reason I got it was because of the cover. It's a really, really cool cover. So yeah, Sounds in Space. And this is from like 1958, and it plays really well. I was surprised. So yeah, Sounds in Space. The next one is a 12-inch single, and I got this for $5 sealed. I opened it, and that's Elvis Costello, I Want You. This is the album version of I Want You. There's a version for the 7-inch that cut it down, and it's terrible edit of it. And then the B-side is an alternate version, an acoustic version of I Hope You're Happy Now, which is probably my favorite song off that album. And it's on Imp Records, which was one of Jake Rivier's many, many, many labels. He was obviously co-founded Stiff, and then he left Stiff and formed Radar, and then left Radar and formed F-Beat, and then left F-Beat and formed Imp, and then left Imp and formed Demon. So I don't know if he had legal issues, or he kept going bankrupt, or whatever, but it seemed like whatever label he made, Nick Lowe and Elvis Costello followed him. But yeah, this is a great song and a really cool looking, sorry for the glare, a really cool looking sleeve. The next one is a bootleg reissue of the Cramps' first album, the Songs the Lord Taught Us. I've had this on CD for about 2 years, and I've never seen a copy in the wild. I can't afford, you know, I can't justify spending that much on an original, and I've never seen one. And I've never even seen like an official reissue. So I bought the bootleg. It sounds good. It's on this kind of, purpley maroon vinyl on a label called Legal Records. This is... I was thinking about doing a thread where it's perfect albums except for one song. And this is an album that would fit really well on that, because I think this is perfect except for the cover of Strychnine. No one needs to cover Strychnine. The Sonics version is just so perfect that I don't think I ever need to hear a cover of Strychnine. But other than that, this is great. TV Set, Teenage Werewolf, The Mad Daddy, What's Behind the Mask. What's Behind the Mask and their cover of Fever are my favorites on here. So yeah, the Cramps. And even though that's a bootleg, I was still happy to find it because, since that Wednesday show, I mean, I know even before that show, but especially since, Cramp stuff has been getting very hard to find. So this next album I'm not going to talk about too much. This is an album I rebought. I sold it It's the Records debut. I think this had a different cover in the UK. And this is kind of the opposite of the Cramps, where this is terrible except for one song, Starry Eyes, which is worth the price of admission. I'll probably sell this when I get the picture sleeve single. But everything else on this is not very good in my opinion. So yeah, the Records. But Starry Eyes, I think, in my opinion, is probably the greatest power pop song ever. So yeah. Anyway, the next one is, I've been starting to get more into Psych. I've had CDs and stuff, but this is the first thing I've bought on vinyl, and that's the Blue Magoo's Psychedelic Lollipop. This is a really great album. Obviously, We Ain't Got Nothing Yet, but Tobacco Roads. I think my favorite is Sometimes I Think About. But this kind of, talking about the Sonics again, kind of reminds me of the first Sonics album in that it's good, but the best thing on here are the originals, and it makes you wish that they did more originals than covers, because there are quite a few covers on this. But anyway, cool record. I do have another Psych album I'll show a little later in the video. But if you have any Psych recommendations based on what I've shown, give them to me. Give me some recommendations. Anyway, this is album I've been looking for a while. It's a big grail for me, and that's Elvis Costello live at the El Macabo, 1978. This was a live promo album that was only ever released as promo for DJs and stuff in Canada. It's on that white label. It was put out as a CD in the 90s, but it's never been officially reissued on vinyl. And this is the best Elvis Costello live album, in my opinion. And this is one of my favorite live albums ever. The versions of Less Than Zero and Waiting for the End of the World, I think, are better than the studio versions. He changes the lyrics on Less Than Zero to make them kind of seedier and more uncomfortable. But yeah, this is really... There is this one guy on the whole album that just is screaming in between every song. Like, he's into it, but he's just wailing, and it's kind of annoying, but it's still a great album. And if you're looking for an Elvis Costello live album and you can find this, definitely pick that up. Okay, the next two are by the same band, and sorry if I'm Russian, by the way. I said earlier that. Anyway, I don't know. I saw Girl Trouble recently, and they opened for a band called the Baseball Project, which I wasn't really into. All their songs were lyrically about baseball, and two of the members are from REM, which is a band I can't stand. One of the members was from Young Fresh Fellows, which I don't really like either, and then another member was Steve Wynn. Two other members were Steve Wynn and his wife, and I had never gotten into Steve Wynn before, but I really liked his voice, and so I got really into the Dream Syndicate and watched the documentary, and I picked up their first two records. So this is their first album, The Days of Wine and Roses, and this just absolutely blew me away. This is now probably one of my favorite albums of 1982, probably one of my favorite albums ever now. This is like a reissue edition that has the first album from 82 and then the EP from 82. And the EP was produced by Paul Cutler from 45 Grave. But this is just really, I was just absolutely blown away. I mean, you know, the obvious comparison on this record is Velvet Underground, but there's also songs like Definitely Clean that are kind of almost Gun Club sounding, and the guitar on this is just amazing. It's just there's two guitarists. There's Steve Wynn and Carl Prokoda. Yeah, that's his name. And they kind of have this back and forth thing where, like, you know, kind of a call and response thing, and they really just go completely out there. And some of the guitar solos are like almost hardly solos, but it's just very, you know, kind of droning. It's just really good. Their second album is from '84, and sorry, hold on a second. From '84, and it's called Medicine Show. They got signed. The first album was originally on Slash, and for this they got signed to A&M, and it's on this kind of cool custom label. And this is not as good as the first album, but I still like it a lot. And it's kind of, I guess the best way I could describe it is Gun Club meets Bruce Springsteen, if that makes sense. But the first side is kind of the shorter not pop songs, but pop format songs. And then the B-side is, or side 2 is just 3 long songs. And the title track, Medicine Show, is probably my favorite. But I've been really into the Dream Syndicate. So yeah, the next one, I only have 3 more, so don't worry. The next one is the second Psych record I picked up, and I got this on Amazon. It was $20 on Amazon, and that's the Chocolate Watch Band. I have 3 or 4 Chocolate Watch Band CDs, so I was pretty familiar with them, but I hadn't listened to this whole album. Side 1 is 3 longer songs, and then side 2 is where I think it really gets good. It starts out with their cover of I'm Not Like Everybody Else, which is the best version of that song. And then it goes into Medication, which is great. Sorry, hold on. My voice is getting... throat's getting sore. The third song is called Let's Go, Go, Go. And it's not very good. It's the worst song on the album. It's kind of almost trying to be kind of a rockabilly type thing, but it comes across as a bad novelty song. And then you get Baby Blue, which is obviously great, and I Ain't No Miracle Worker. This is a 2009 reissue on Sundays, and it, you know, I'm not an audiophile, but it sounds really good to me. And yeah, this is great. It has all these people on the back that they thank that are like completely random. I'm not going to read all of them out, but you have right next to each other, you have George Harrison and then Smokey the Bear. So yeah, this is a really good album. Okay, just 2 more. This one was a big grail for me, and I can't say enough good things about this record. That's the first Klaus Nomi album. I have the second album, a reissue, but this is an original of UK press of his first album, and this you know is one of my maybe my favorite record of 1981. Keys of Life, Lightning Strikes, The Twist, Know Me Song, You Don't Own Me. Side 2 is where you get kind of the more opera-oriented stuff like Cold Song and Samson and Delilah. You do get Total Eclipse on that side, but this album is perfect, and it comes with a Really cool original inner. I don't think I've ever seen anyone in the VC show Klaus Noe. I mean, I might be, I can't watch everything, obviously, so I might be wrong about that, but I think he deserves a lot more recognition. He, did that live performance of The Man Who Sold the World on SNL with Bowie, which kind of, I think, got him notoriety, and then he had this come out in 81, and then the second album was 82. I think he passed away in 83 of AIDS, and then a compilation came out called Encore. But this album is just, it cannot be defined. It's synth pop, it's new wave, it's opera, it's avant-garde, it's experimental. It's I think it's an album everyone should at least hear. So yeah, even if you don't like it, I think everyone should listen to it at least once. So yeah, Klaus Nomi. And the last album was another Grail, and it's just amazing. It's an 85 reissue of The Script of the Bridge by the Chameleons. I think I remember another channel, Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard, saying this was one of his favorite bands. And I don't know if they're one of my favorite bands, but they're one of my favorite bands of the 80s, definitely. And this album is just amazing. I have their reissue of their second album. My favorite is their third album, Strange Times, that has like a Swamp Thing and Mad Jack. But this is great. This has Monkey Land is probably my favorite. Thursday's Child I like a lot too, As High as You Can Go. This is a great album. They're kind of, I believe they're from Manchester. So there's a lot of Smith. Did I say this originally came out in 83? Anyway, there's a lot of kind of Smith's comparisons. I think that's kind of unfair to them. Some people call them post-punk. They're not, I mean, we know how Vinyl Richie feels about post-punk, but they're not post-punk. This sounds pretentious, but they create such a lush, enveloping sound, and I can see how if you like the Smiths, you would like them, but that is so, I think, very unfair to them, but just of how good they are. I had tickets probably about a year ago now to see Mark Burgess, the singer and bassist, play a solo acoustic show just blocks from my house, and right before I got COVID, which sucked. And then a couple days ago, like probably less than a week ago, they played in Seattle, but it was 21 and over, so I couldn't go. But I hope to see him someday. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too long, and if you made it to the end, I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll have another video soon. Thanks.